Greetings. My name is Dr. Waddell Brooks Sr., your host, and this is Community Forum. We're celebrating our 15th year in Lake County on Comcast Cable as Community Forum. One aspect, one program we have not had, and that's dealing with veterans. Today we have with us Mr. Johnny L. Allen. He's a retired superintendent of the Lake County Veterans Assistance Commission. And he's going to let us know, and I will be learning, even though I am a veteran of the Korean conflict, but there's a lot of things that I need to know, some benefits that I need to know or refresh on. And so I want, Mr. Allen is going to tell us. And Mr. Allen, greetings to Community Forum, and we thank you for taking time from your busy schedule to be with us. And it's my understanding that you're not fully retired yet because you're training your replacement, right?
That's correct.
But tell our listening audience, first of all, a little bit about your personal and professional background.
I entered the United States Army when I was 17 years old.
Okay.
And trained in Army for 19 weeks, and re-enlisted into the Army Air Corps.
Okay.
And later on, I was changed to the United States Air Force. And I stayed on active duty without a break for 30 years.
Wow.
In the military. And during that time, I traveled quite a bit. Europe, Far East. I was in Japan, Korea, Vietnam. I was a part of all three wars. I went into the service just at the end of World War II, and I went to Korea, and I had 2 tours in Vietnam. And then a portion of my military service was in California. Beale Air Force Base was one station, and Vandenberg is where I retired from, Vandenberg Air Force Base. And when I retired, I went back to school, and I was offered a position here in Illinois by my brother-in-law, who owned an architectural engineering firm.
Okay.
And I don't have that kind of background, but I do have administrative and management.
Right.
So he hired me as a regional manager for one of his firms, one of his offices. And I worked out of Milwaukee for a long time until that job was finished. And then I retired, but I was not satisfied with retirement from that job. So I came to Illinois and was going to go back to school, and VA suggested that my type of background was needed in service organization. So I interviewed for a position with the Disabled American Veterans and was hired, and I worked for them for about 2 years. Out of North Chicago VA Medical Center, and the position of superintendent of Lake County Veterans Assistance Commission opened up. I applied for it and was accepted.
You really had the background for it after 30 years in the military.
Correct. And a medical background in the military also. So and the job that I was doing, still doing now partially, but the job I was doing required a medical background as well as military experience. So I worked as a superintendent for Lake County for about 16 years, actually 16 years. And retired, semi-retired, because I'm still working.
You're training your replacement.
I'm training my replacement, yes.
Okay.
Correct. That about covers generally my background.
But what piqued your interest to enter the military at 17 years old?
Nothing piqued my interest. I was drafted.
Oh, yeah, at 17.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. I pushed my age up.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Okay.
anyway, I was drafted and went into the Army, and I wasn't very interested in the Army because it was hard. Army didn't play.
Okay.
And when certain of us had the opportunity to apply for the Army Air Corps,
Mm-hmm.
because you had to have a certain educational background. And I applied and I passed, so I took the Air Force. I heard so much good things about the Air Force and how easy and cool it was, so
Okay.
that's why I re-enlisted into the Air Force.
Tell me this, though. What is the overall mission of the Veterans?
Assistance Commission.
Mm-hmm.
It was established early 1900s by legislators in Illinois, and the purpose of it was to provide assistance to the indigent veteran and the
Okay.
families of indigent veterans.
Okay.
And the money for the operation of this organization was paid by property owners within Lake County.
Okay.
And incidentally, about 30 odd counties in Illinois has the same program.
Oh.
So the property owners within their particular county paid a very small amount of money toward the operation of this organization.
Mm-hmm.
And that paid for the salaries and the service provided for the veteran or the family of the veteran.
Okay.
What is available is to qualify, the individual must be honorably discharged,
Mm-hmm.
and interview. We have to learn a lot of things about his background, whether or not he's employed or why isn't he employed. A lot of things that we have to get from the veteran, but usually it's nothing that a veteran can't provide.
Okay.
The individual can't provide. But anyway, and the service available or provided includes rental assistance, or if you're behind in your mortgage, we help with that. Utilities, and in some cases we help with health or some problems. For example, if an individual had to go to a private hospital, a private doctor,
Mm-hmm.
but couldn't afford it, and they were charged for the visit, we on some occasions have paid for that, or helped that individual pay the doctor bill.
Oh, okay.
And there are other things that we help with, but the superintendent has to make the decision. If it's not in writing, or if it's not already, the information not already made available to the public or to the veteran, and some emergency happens that individual may need financial assistance, or then we decide on the spot whether or not we can help or not.
Where are you physically located in Lake County?
The office is located 20 South Martin Luther King Avenue.
Mm-hmm. And
What used to be Utica is now Martin Luther King.
okay, right. And you have a phone number?
And telephone number is 847-377-3344.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And Mr. Allen, before a person can get assistance, there's certain documents that they should bring with them.
Just the discharge paper, 214.
DD 214.
DD 214.
I remember that.
And if there are bills that they want to discuss with us or want us to help them with, they should bring those bills with them.
Okay.
Okay.
What are some of the challenging experiences that you've had since you've been there?
As a superintendent,
Right, right.
there's so many. There's another service we provide also, but a situation where the veteran had a job, didn't have transportation, did have transportation,
Okay.
but it didn't work. Well, we worked a system out where we could help him pay one bill and use the money out of his pocket. We're not authorized to pay for a car payment or car repair.
Okay.
So in order to help him get to his job, we helped him in another, whatever other bill that he may have had.
Mm-hmm.
And the money that he would use to pay that bill, he could put that in his pocket or pay the bill,
Okay.
and we helped him with the other utilities, for example, or rent or whatever it may be. Those are some of the, that's one incident or one case where we can help a veteran out, but it's not in writing. Just have to use our own initiative to get the individual bus fare, for example, or get his car running, so he can get to work. And another thing that we offer to the veteran is to help him or her find work, find employment.
Okay.
We coordinate with Lake County. Lake County has a program that assists in
I
seeking
guess
employment.
there's unemployment office. There's also job service.
Job service, Lake County Job Service, unemployment office.
Okay.
And there are some of the employees primarily there to assist the veteran, and we coordinate with that person or that office. Each time we have a veteran who is looking for employment or needs employment, we get the two of them in touch. And we also help a veteran if he needs assistance in looking other places, other employment office for a job. We have a system in the office where we can help that individual. And if he has to have transportation to get to the interview and get to the place of work, we help him for the first week or two until he gets his first check, and then he's on his own.
You mentioned unusual requests. I think it was the Lake County News Sun ran a fantastic article about your service when you retired.
That's the other service we provide, and that is claims for benefits from VA. If a veteran has any kind of problem, or physical or medical or mental problem, as a result of his being in service, we help that individual file a claim through VA in order to get compensated for it. And that incident that you mentioned, I've had several of them, but that one was kind of outstanding.
This one was for helping men declared dead.
Yeah, that's another one. A gentleman, a veteran, walked into our office and wanted some assistance, but he had been declared by VA as being deceased.
Okay.
So with a lot of telephone calls and documents, we got him back
alive.
back alive, and provided him with the help, and also helped him get some compensation benefits from VA. So
we cannot the emphasize the importance of that DD 214, the
that is the
honorable discharge papers.
That's the most important document an individual could have, and he should always have a copy of it or have it in his possession, because he can use that in place of a birth certificate or anything as a means of identification. And plus, in seeking employment, your 214 makes a lot of difference.
You get added points?
Yeah, well, that's another thing. But seeking employment, your employer, your potential employer, is going to look to see what kind of discharge, honorable or other than honorable, dishonorable discharge, whatever. But honorable is what the future employee employer is looking for,
Okay.
and that helps. Also, if a veteran has proper identification, he has points toward employment. 5 points, I think it is, toward
Okay,
employment.
okay.
If it's a veteran that's disabled by the service-connected veteran,
Mhm.
then he has 10 points toward employment.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that's the difference.
Mhm.
A veteran seeking employment has 5 points toward employment, the possibility of employment.
Mhm.
But the disabled veteran or the service-connected veteran has 10 points toward possible employment.
I may mention this now about the state of Illinois. The governor hired a Tammy Duckworth
Yes.
as her title was the Illinois Director of Veterans Affairs,
Correct.
and her duties are similar to yours with the county.
No, her duties is far. she is responsible for the administration of all the veteran activities within the state,
Okay.
and she makes certain that the benefits are provided, are available, and provided for the vet. Plus, at the state level, there's several benefits provided by the state for the veteran.
Okay.
And that's her responsibility to make certain that these things are available to the veteran.
Providing the budget is available.
Budget is another one.
As the state of Illinois has been running to budget cuts and so forth, and
But she's responsible to see that that budget is properly provided for the benefit of the veteran and his family.
I know her husband is a major in the army, and
Correct.
also he's in Kuwait now. She's
Yes.
awaiting for his return.
Right.
2008, I guess.
I think it was a good choice in selecting her because
Okay.
she's well qualified for the job, in my view. Since she's been there, I've seen nothing but the best for her.
This is fantastic. What about educational benefits? I know when I the first thing I did was took advantage of even though I had a Scholastic Scholarship, a state scholarship, I couldn't use both.
Mm-hmm.
But I finished college using the educational benefits.
Well, the educational benefits is beautiful for the veteran if he wants to go to school, he or she. The state provides scholarship for
Oh,
the
yes.
veteran, and then Department of Veterans Affairs provide benefits to go to school. I think it's for 48 months. I think it's 48 months. And the service-connected veteran, once again, that's the person who may have been injured in the service or ill or some mental problem. But anyway, if he's service-connected, there's a program called vocational rehabilitation.
Oh, okay.
And that individual is qualified for school, tuition, books, and a stipend every month to pay for his schooling.
Wow.
It's great. I use that myself because I'm a service-connected veteran. But anyway, education, there's no problem if the veteran qualifies. If he served the proper amount of time, the 4 years honorably discharged, and he wants education, it's available for him.
Just about the burial benefits, of a veteran.
The burial benefits are if a veteran should pass away in the VA facility, in the VA hospital, there's a certain amount of money provided for the burial benefit to the family. And if he should pass away at home or in a private facility, a medical facility, there's quite a bit of difference in the amount of money, but burial benefits are available for the veteran or the family to help. And my office provides for the indigent veteran. In other words, if the veteran has a family but the family can't afford it,
Okay.
or it doesn't have a family, and then my office provides, as well as Social Security and the state. Those three offices provide a certain amount of money toward the burial of that individual.
So there are Social Security benefits also for the
Correct.
veteran,
Correct.
but not as much.
Not as much, no.
Okay, okay. It's my understanding that if a person is indigent, there's always a burial site for him in a military cemetery.
Correct.
It may
always-
not be local, but
But there's always a place.
always a place.
That's correct, yes.
Maybe Southern Illinois
Right.
or whatever, but there's a place.
There's always a place, yes. And there's some places here in Waukegan, I can speak to that, that under those circumstances, the cemetery has a free space for veterans.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's very interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. What about insurance for veterans?
Insurance, when you go into service, you're automatically insured.
Okay.
And you pay a certain amount of money per month toward that I can't remember the amount, but you pay a minimal amount toward that insurance.
Okay.
And if something happens to you while you're on active duty, that insurance covers the family, or takes care of the family.
Oh, okay.
If you are discharged or retired from the military, you have the option or the opportunity to continue that insurance if you transfer it to a civilian agency. And if you want to do that, the military will provide you with the names of the agencies that will pick it up.
Oh,
And you pay a certain amount of money as you did, on active duty toward that insurance until it's paid up. When I was in, it was $10,000, but now it's quite a bit more than that, especially for the guys, the servicemen, men and women in the present war. It's been increased, and I won't even attempt to tell you what that amount is because I'm not quite sure of that.
but it is incumbent upon the veteran to continue that insurance.
Correct, yes.
In other words, he has about, 90 days?
90 days.
From discharge?
Right, and he or she is supposed to be made aware of that
Okay.
on exit, as they are exiting the military.
But they have so many things on their mind.
Exactly.
They want to get out, very anxious to get out, and
Right.
a lot of times, a lot of things slip past them.
Exactly, that's true. The education, benefits for the family, a lot of things pass, and they don't. I see veterans today that was not aware that he or she could have received compensation from VA because they were not aware of it, and they were ill or wounded or whatever happened to them while on active duty,
Okay.
and they just, when they got the opportunity, they left without even recalling what they could do or remembering what was available, benefits available, education, all of those things.
Okay.
Some guys didn't know about it until way later on in life, especially compensation. Many veterans had hearing loss, combat veterans, hearing loss,
Okay, you're right.
wounds, many things, but they just got treated and got well while on active duty and came out. But later on, organizations like mine get the information out to them and get the word out what benefits that they're eligible for and how to go about filing for it, how to go about receiving that benefit. And one of our responsibilities in my office is to make certain that that veteran get the benefits that he has coming.
Mr. Allen, I'm sure you have a lot of assistants too. You got the VFW, the Veterans of Foreign Wars, you got the American Legion and so forth, and those organizations too will gear people in your direction.
Exactly, that's exactly right. We stay in touch with the VFW, American Legion, all of the posts and chapters that are in Lake County.
Okay.
And my counterparts in other counties do the same thing. And let them know what we have available, what kind of services we have, and they get the word out to the membership,
Okay.
and let the membership know where we are. Another means of getting the information to the community is, as we are doing right now,
Okay.
television, radio, newsletters,
Okay.
meetings. The superintendent, the incumbent now, the person that I'm working with, he's started what he calls an outreach program,
Okay.
where he will go to the meetings of each chapter, whatever date that they meet,
Okay.
and he'll take his laptop with him
Uh-huh.
and get the person, if there's someone who needs to apply for the benefit,
Okay.
you can get them right on the spot rather than
This technology age now is really
Exactly.
something. Lake County is approximately 713,000 people. Any idea of the percentage of veterans in Lake County?
the last census was about 50,000, but
50,000, Lake
but
County.
it goes up and down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what it is now,
Mm-hmm.
but veterans come in and they leave, pass away.
Okay.
Veterans from Cook County, for example, a lot of them come to North Chicago or Lake County because I'm not bragging, but better services here,
Well, sure.
And the VA facility offers a whole lot better service than they get in other counties.
That's another point you raised because, I retired from Great Lakes a few years ago.
Okay.
And we had many military people get jobs and stay in this area
That's right.
because of the location of the VA hospital.
Exactly. Many retirees and people discharged
Mm-hmm.
that decided to stay in this area because of the availability of the medical facility.
Mm-hmm.
That's one benefit that you just can't say enough about it,
Mm-hmm.
because just imagine having to pay for
Oh,
any kind of treatment, and it's there for the veteran because he served his time, and it's a benefit that was offered him for serving his country, and certainly take advantage of it.
nearly 45 to 50 million, I think, people without insurance, uninsured in this
In this county, or in the country.
country.
Yeah, that's true.
45 to 50 million.
And that a great percentage of that are veterans.
Okay, okay.
But the veterans does have the VA facilities to back them up.
Another
one-
thing.
I'm
Go ahead,
sorry.
go ahead.
The one thing the veterans, the families of veterans doesn't have is they can't.
Okay.
Okay, but North Chicago is now joined with the Navy, so the Navy dependents can come to this hospital as well as the veterans.
Oh, really?
And the veteran who is service connected and is rated at 100% disabled,
Okay.
then he and his family, he and his wife, can get treatment at any VA facility.
Mm.
And in this case, with the families being able to go to the VA hospital, the children, there's also treatment and services there for children also,
Okay.
pediatrics.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a great place right now. This is really good. I think it's one of the best things that happened with the military and VA, that these two get together. And the community is well off now with that service. I think in 2010, about that time, the whole facility will be one. I mean, it'll be the Navy and will be the VA.
That'll save the taxpayers a lot of money
Oh, yes.
by combining the services,
Correct,
you know. Because at one time there were talk about the closure of the VA hospital.
That's right.
And Congressman Kirk, I know in his speech, he gave you a lot of credit in working as a team
Right.
member
correct.
and to get this to happen.
Yeah, we,
So congratulations.
thank you. There was a lot of work into that, but we were successful, thank goodness. Congressman Kirk had the idea and he took it and ran with it, and thank goodness for him.
This is
Because
fantastic. So there's a joint effort between many members, and this is what it's all about too, team effort.
correct.
In other words, the old African proverb, it takes a whole village, to raise a child.
Raise a child,
And
yes.
this is the same thing about community efforts also. Well, you're about 100% serving veterans, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Tell us about some of the programs. I know one program that's really, getting a lot of attention. Is that the PTSD?
Post-traumatic stress, yeah, right, correct. That, my service to that veteran is to help him get his benefit.
Okay.
But the VA facility has one of the best programs in the system for post-traumatic stress disorder. And there are doctors, psychologists, psychiatrists, technicians, all trained for that particular program.
Okay.
And as I say, it was one of the best, if not the best, in the VA system. here
Because the
in North
veterans
Chicago.
may not realize that he's suffering from post-traumatic
Correct. So
disorder.
my involvement initially with a veteran who may have that condition would be an interview.
Okay.
And I just talked to him to see where he came from, what he was involved in, and so forth. And I'm not a doctor by any means, but just by discussing his background with him, I can tell whether or not he should see a doctor.
Okay.
And then I will set him up to go see a doctor for an interview to determine if there is a problem. And once that takes hold, then he's off and running.
Something is recognized many years later was that Agent Orange?
Agent Orange is
Was that Desert Storm?
no. Agent Orange was a chemical that was used in Vietnam
Vietnam. You're right.
to destroy all the foliage, the trees and grass, and because the enemy was in these trees and grass and bushes and so forth.
Okay.
And they used the Agent Orange chemical to destroy that foliage so that the enemy couldn't hide. But it turns out that Agent Orange had a reaction to most veterans and anyone, not just veterans, but the Vietnamese. But there are several conditions that VA recognizes as being Agent Orange contacted.
Okay.
And those conditions, I think about 10 or 12 of them, all cancerous conditions.
Okay.
But then there are a skin condition that could be a result of Agent Orange. Diabetes could be the result of exposure. Hypertension, result of exposure to the Agent Orange. Heart condition. All of these, and once a veteran has been interviewed and it's determined or diagnosed that he has that condition, then it's discovered or determined as he progresses through the program, or whether or not he has these conditions. And incidentally, each of those conditions that causes, for example, diabetes, is a condition that the veteran can get compensated for. The heart condition, if it's determined that is the result of being exposed to Agent Orange, then that's a condition incurred in the service, and that qualifies the veteran for possible compensation.
Now, was there a lot of red tape involved in trying to prove that that's a result of being a service-connected disability?
Well, you call it red tape, but the bottom line is it takes a lot of effort to prove that your PTSD is a result of being in Vietnam, to prove that the medical or physical conditions are the result of exposure to Agent Orange. In order to prove that, the veteran has to provide them with all the evidence necessary. He was there, he was in a certain battle, he was there during a certain period of time. He can establish the fact that he had buddies, and he can get a buddy letter to prove that he was there. Yeah, it takes quite a bit of red tape or evidence to prove that your condition is a result of being exposed to Agent Orange or being in Vietnam.
Yeah, I was thinking about the bureaucracy that a person has to go through with after.
And that's what my office and service officers, veteran service officers, that's our responsibility, to help that veteran prove his case.
Okay.
And it takes quite a bit of work.
So you are an advocate then too.
Correct.
Of the veteran.
Correct.
Even though you're paid by the county.
Right.
But you do your job. Tell us about women veterans. I don't hear too much about them. I know there's an increase in women in the military, so
Well,
therefore you can have more women veterans now.
Well, now the veteran hospitals all have provided special services for the women veteran. And there are special staff, special clinics focused on the female veteran. There's a clinic, women's health clinic at North Chicago, and special nurses, doctors, physicians, assistants are there primarily to help the female veteran. So they're not overlooked by any means.
This is fantastic.
Yeah.
I know Ms. Duckworth mentioned, but there's a shortage of nurses. They spend a lot of time recruiting nurses.
Well, there was.
To provide services. Yeah.
There was, but I don't think that shortage, well, it's not effective here in North Chicago. I think they're pretty well staffed there.
Right.
That's one of the things that I complain about all the time, staff.
Okay.
And I'm assured that staff is up. No problem.
When a veteran comes into your office, you can easily, with this increase in technology, now computers, you can easily take less time in taking care of him then, right?
Oh, yes, yeah. The technology has improved things quite a bit, but still all of that bureaucracy haven't improved. That you just can't get it out of the computer. You have to do a lot of writing, phone calling, and so forth. But it's available to you faster now than it used to be. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We talked about burial rights, but the veteran's wife can be buried in the same grave with him.
She can, yes.
Is that
That's true. That's true.
part of the?
All we have to do, all that has to be do is request it. The family request that she be buried with the veteran. Yes.
The information that we're promulgating now, I'm sure you call upon a great deal to give talks to different groups too, right? Whether they're veterans groups or whether there's other groups in the community want to know about the services that you provide.
Correct. And as I said earlier, my replacement is working on an outreach program where he has scheduled himself to go to the various meetings, and he's made himself available to anyone who would be interested in veteran services. He can provide that assistance to them or speak at their meetings or whatever they require. So I did it, but I was limited because I had quite a workload.
Okay.
I'm not complaining. I love my
Never a
work.
dull moment in your office, huh?
I love my work, but anyway, it was difficult for me to get the job done in the office and then make meetings.
Oh, I see,
you know.
I see.
So
Oh, well, staffing was a problem in your office too. You had a one-man office?
no, I had two secretaries or two ladies who would work with me and
Okay.
myself. There was only 3 people in my office, and that's what's happening now. There's only 3 people in that office, and we. I tell you, just from the benefits alone, the compensation and pension benefit, last year we provided over $2 million into the community. Veterans we filed claims for, and
Oh, okay.
and we got about $2 million or more. And each year it increases. So last year this is 2007.
Okay.
2005, we probably got about $2 million. 2006, we got another new $2 million plus the $2 million. It keeps
Okay,
increasing.
okay.
The amount of money that we get into the into the community, and each time we get a hit or we're successful, that takes that veteran off the rolls of VAC, and we don't have to help that person anymore because
Right.
he has money to spend in the county. So it's a good thing. I think it's wonderful that you can help a person get on his feet and take care of his family and without having to go to public aid or to my office for any assistance.
I'm concerned about a backlog of claims. That's the reason the staffing is a problem, because it's a backlog of claims.
The backlog of claims is not our responsibility. We send them up there, but
All you do is process it.
that's right. And the real problem is bureaucracy and
Right back to
the people there that's adjudicating the claims are not there. I shouldn't say that, but I'm for the veteran and they are for VA.
Okay.
That way, They do what VA directs them to do. And if we don't provide them with what they're directed to obtain, then of course the veteran is lost. But and the reason for that is because the reason for the backlog
Okay.
is because there are so many claims and staffing is not what it should be
Okay.
in the regional office. And there are a lot of questions by the bureaucracy, the staffing, that keeps coming back to the veteran, prove this, we have to prove this, or prove that he was in Vietnam, or that he was sick on a certain day, or that he had a condition. He's got to prove it to the direction of that regulation that guides those guys in the VA system. So it's a constant turnaround. It's like catch-22. You keep going around and around until finally either you get the right answer or you don't.
Well, with all of the backlog and the time you spend with a one-man office, you have 2 secretaries, do you have any time for leisure time activities?
Not if well, yeah, yeah, but you do. When I was in the office full time,
Okay.
I would work evenings, weekends,
Okay.
because I wanted to get the thing out of caught up and out of the office. I
You were
wanted to-
dedicated,
And then when it goes to the regional office and it's bounced back for whatever reason,
Okay.
that requires a lot more effort.
Yeah.
And with only 3 people in my office, it took a lot of research by one person.
And you're the only staff person that really could could handle them. You don't have another staff person.
Well, we train, I train them as much as possible to do the job, as, along with me, but you can't train someone in a few weeks, a few days, a few months. You got to have some experience there too.
Right.
That's
Now you are fully retired, and you call back part-time now to train your replacement.
No, they didn't call me back. The gentleman had not been exposed to this kind of work before.
Okay.
And he asked that I stay with him until he get his feet on the ground.
And then they approved it. Huh?
And it was approved by the county, yes. Okay. And I agreed because I think I've done a lot for this office.
Okay.
And I wanted to stay at that level or go up. I don't want it to go down.
That's
so
right,
I'll just stick with it until I feel comfortable with this gentleman.
Fantastic. Well, what about family life then? Your wife accepted this. I guess she said, as long as you're happy, I guess.
Yeah,
she accepted this.
My wife she doesn't complain.
Okay.
Anything she asks me to do, I find time to do it.
Okay.
So, my family life is pretty good. I'm with her. If I'm not in the office, I'm with her.
Right. You have children and they?
All grown.
All grown.
I have a great grandchild.
Great.
Right.
This is fantastic.
I have two grandchildren, girls, ladies.
Okay.
They each had 3 children, and one of the children had a baby.
Okay.
So
Wow.
I'm a great grandfather.
Right. You're really proud.
I'm telling you.
One of the programs that's getting attention all over the country, and do you get involved in mortgages?
No. VA is involved in it. Now,
Okay.
it's available to the veteran to get a loan through VA.
Okay.
And he or she can get the loan and purchase their home. And if they have a problem with mortgage payments or something,
Okay.
a program was approved. I don't know if funds are available. A program was approved for VA to assist those individuals who had problems so that they wouldn't lose their home.
Okay.
But I don't know if that program that was approved has been funded. I do know that when it was initially approved, there wasn't funds for it. It was okay, but there was no funds for it. But I don't know if funds are available yet.
Okay.
But when my office get involved with the mortgage is when the person is behind and there's no place for him or her to go to get some help.
Okay.
Then we try to assist them.
So that's probably mismanagement on the part of the
Individual.
veterans.
Right.
Okay. Walter Reed Hospital is one of the top hospitals in the country, I guess military or civilian, but it's my understanding that it's on the base closure list.
That's because of the last report, remember, about a year ago.
Okay.
Some of the veterans were found to be living in dirty quarters and everything was just ruined. And by contrast, the officers' quarters was nice and neat. They had maids and so forth. Okay. But anyway, I just had to throw that in.
But, we know about that.
Right. But anyway, naturally, everyone became interested, especially with the veterans from Iraq and Afghanistan coming back and being treated under those kind of conditions. I don't believe it's going to be closed. Maybe it's on the list for closure, but I doubt very much. It's been around too long and it's been too popular. And, presidents on down have been using Walter Reed, so
that's right.
I don't think that'll close.
Yeah, they'll probably provide more funds because it wasn't maintained.
Correct.
The buildings
Exactly.
weren't maintained.
That was it.
And that's really shocking to the country too.
It was. I'm telling you. But VA can't be responsible for that because that's the Army.
That's okay, I guess, okay.
Yeah, the VA had nothing to do with that.
Well, does the VA have anything to do with traumatic brain screening?
Yeah, well, only after, well, when they come back from Vietnam, the military handles the brain screening, you know, the military hospitals.
Okay,
Walter Reed and the other one, and wherever they're sent.
okay,
But then after a certain level of screening, then they're transferred to VA,
Okay.
and VA takes over from that point on.
okay, okay.
But yes, VA does have a quite a big hand in that.
Well, Mr. Allen, we really appreciate your taking time from your very busy schedule to come down to the studio to be with us here on to let Lake County know all the information about the Veterans Commission. And you're located at 20.
20 South Martin Luther King Avenue.
If there's any other questions that
And the telephone number, yes, correct.
and we have to give the telephone number is 847-377-3344.
Right. And there's an email address. My email address is jallen@co.lake.il.us. Now that's my own office
Right,
email address. But there is another address that. But if anyone needs to get a message to us, you can use that that email address, no problem, or the telephone.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking with Mr. Johnny Allen, retired superintendent of the Lake County Veterans Assistance Commission. We hope that you have enjoyed we've given you the resources. If there's any other questions that you may have, and I'm sure that you may have many more questions. But this has been Community Forum. My name is Dr. Wandell Brooks Sr., your host.